Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, Chrystian Gonzalez.
Alex. Nice
Hi,
to meet
Alex.
you. Alex.
I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long.
No,
Sorry.
no trouble. No trouble at all.
Just wrapping up on the other side there. And,
Okay.
But do you find the way over here okay?
Yeah. I live in Lubbock, so it's.
Okay.
I knew where. I've driven by a few times.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad. It is a small town and traffic's not bad.
No.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
not
it.
from here, so it's
Okay.
it's a nice, pleasant surprise.
Where are you from?
Originally from El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, just a few hours west of here, but it's pretty pleasant here. I like it.
I like smaller. I like the smaller towns.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like I said, the traffic was great. It's non-existent. It's good.
I've got family in Dallas. A little bit of family in Dallas, so it's.
Oh.
I hate it. I hate going down
Yeah.
there. I mean, I like the shopping. I mean, that's okay, but that traffic, man, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either.
Yeah.
It's all that they're just always under construction.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's just,
it doesn't
it's a
matter.
mess.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Tell me what brings you in today to talk. If you don't mind, I'm going to be taking a few notes.
No, please, yeah.
All right.
That's great. So I'm 52. I was recently divorced, very recently.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's been tough. It's been really, really tough. I met my wife 20 years ago. It was, yeah. So it was, it was kind of love at first sight. She was an underwear model. I met her in France. I was vacationing in France. I think I was 50. I'm 52, so I think maybe 31 at the time. Yeah. I was vacationing in France, and I just, they do the shoots on the beach. I just happened to see her down there. It was random chance. I struck up a conversation, and it was a fairy tale.
It sounds like a movie scene.
It does. I loved telling that story, but it just things went bad. It seemed like she gave up modeling. We had kids. We got 3 kiddos.
Mm-hmm.
She gave up modeling to be with them, which I loved, but I don't think she ever got over not being able to do that or to kind of pursue a career. So that was
tough. Having a profession where your physical features are very important.
Right.
Yeah, that's
right.
must have been.
And I understand it was very limited. She was I think in her early 20s when we met. And there's a very small window that those girls have.
I see. Yeah.
So she could have. I was happy she stayed with the kids, but I know she could have been a multimillionaire. Doing that. So I think that was always tough for her. We had problems. Our youngest is intellectually disabled.
Okay.
Which he's capable. That's kind of the gist of why I'm here. I'm trying to look into the future. And see how this is going to affect me.
So how many kids do you have?
3.
3 kids.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. So I think that having a disabled child it's hard. It's hard on a marriage. He goes to special schools. He's got therapists. He does things. I think it looks like he's going to be able to maybe have a job, possibly work. Nothing. It's not going to be a complicated job. He's going to have to live with me for probably the rest of his life.
Before my current profession, I used to be a teacher for special children, and I got to tell you, it is tough. And I commend you for stepping up and being there for your child.
Thank you.
Surprisingly, not a lot of people are. It's too much.
But there are support groups out there that had been helpful. So it is. I love him. I love him to death. He's my kid. I wouldn't change anything for the world. But that was a strain. It was a strain on our marriage. We did go to therapy for a few years. It didn't take. I think it helped me, but Annie was. She started getting into some drugs. It was not bad at first. I didn't realize what was going on until probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh wow! I'm so sorry to hear that.
Alcohol and the pills were bad. She got into heavy stuff towards the end, and she's still struggling with that. So the divorce was ugly. I actually caught her cheating on me with one of my employees. Yeah.
You're kidding?
No.
Oh,
so
man.
it was a comedy of errors, I suppose. So it's It's
been
tough. It's been
Yeah.
it's been a rough couple years, maybe half decade or so.
Oh, jeez.
You know, and I'm not trying to put this all on you. It's just, you know, it's.
No, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. It helps to hear out what a client has to say. It's not just a financial perspective that we take here. I mean, it's really just an all-around look at our clients. You know, I want to know where you're coming from. It's helpful so that I can better help you.
I definitely appreciate it.
So, married for 20 years, recently divorced,
No.
and 3 kids. I'm assuming all from the same marriage. I hope I'm not offending you.
No. They were all from, yeah, it was me and Annie.
Okay, and geez, drugs. That's tough. That's really tough.
Yeah, I mean, she hit it surprisingly well for a long time.
Wow.
But there's just a point where you, and I don't know. I think some of it was me not wanting to see, not wanting to realize what was actually going on there.
So, with all this kind of piling up on you after these last few years, and I'm sorry it's so tough. Might seem like a personal question. I hope you don't mind, but how are you holding up?
Not well, honestly. I do okay during the day. It's just, you know, at home at night, you know, when you're alone, it's just, when you have time to think is when it gets bad. So, I mean, I have trouble sleeping. You know, I do go to the doctor regularly, I mean, at this age, you know, my blood pressure is increased, my cholesterol is increased. So it's not bad enough that I'm on meds, but, you know, he has one. So, I mean,
Sure.
it's just physically and emotionally incredibly trying right now.
Yeah, I've been through 2 marriages already myself, so none of them were as long as yours
Yeah,
was,
it's
20
still,
years,
yeah.
but
It hurts, I know. It's,
I understand.
yeah.
But I mean, it sounds really tough, and it sounds like it hit you pretty tough. Well, actually, I ask because there's an agency that we refer some of our clients out to.
Okay, I didn't, all right.
In case you're interested for some counseling help, basically. I don't know, a lot of people don't like the word shrink or psychiatrist.
No, yeah, I've been, if you have someone that you use, I mean, I think that would probably be helpful for
Okay,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that, and I'll be sure to include that in the.
Thank you, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And so part of the reason why we meet and talk for a little bit before we get into the real business is, like I said, I want to get to know my clients. I want to make sure that I understand where they're coming from. Most importantly, what their goals are, what they want to do. And I mean, you're telling me about your kids. You're telling me about your baby that's got some issues, and you know, that is tough. But I can.
Well, I mean, he is older. So I've got 3 kiddos.
Mhm.
Alex Jr. is 20 years old. He goes to school at Baylor. So I mean, I love talking about my kids. So I mean, stop me.
Oh, no,
stop
well,
me if you need me to. He goes to Baylor. He's got a full ride. He's doing it's a BS, MS in accounting.
Oh,
So
nice.
nowadays they have to get a master's degree in order to sit. They have to do extra hours.
Mm.
But so when he's done, he'll have a master's degree and he should be able to sit for the CPA.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really. He's a sophomore, but he's doing extraordinarily well.
Okay.
Went in with extra hours. I mean, he hopefully will graduate early. I don't think he's going to graduate early enough. That last year, I'm a little worried because it's a 5-year program because they push it together. I'm probably going to have to pay for that last year, or at least part of it, and I cover a lot of his expenses as it is.
Okay.
So he's got a full scholarship, but you know, housing, books, the car, insurance, cell phone. I cover everything.
You cover all of that.
Yeah.
And your middle child,
Alexis.
Alexis.
So she's 18. She's about to graduate. She's going to graduate in May. She's got a 3.8 GPA, and we got her ACTs back fairly recently. She got a 33. So she's in the top percentile of
Great.
students. I really want her to stay close to home.
Mhm.
Texas Tech I think would be great, but she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure she does.
She does, yeah.
Very different.
Yeah,
right?
she's been here her whole life. She wants to go. So my concern, you know, it's I guess a good problem to have, but my concern is that she's talking about Harvard, she's talking about Yale, she's talking about Stanford, and she's done enough extracurriculars. I think she's got enough. I think her grades are good enough that she might be able to get in.
Great.
So that's great, but there's no way
You think she might be able to get some scholarship money on it?
I'm hoping that she will, but I looked at the tuition at these places. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm, $30,000, $40,000 a year. Best case scenario for me. Plus, I'm going to have to pay for living expenses. So I mean, all in all, it might, it's going to be $75,000, $100,000 a year for 4 years. I do well, but I can't afford $100,000.
I can understand
before I
that.
go to school. So those two are doing great. Alec is the youngest, so he's 14. He's the one with the intellectual difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
I have him in school. We do therapy. I mean, we have people come in. He has a few additional medical expenses. All in all, I'd say I spend anywhere from $50,000 a year in extra expenses on him. My big concern is he's going to have to stay with me. He's going to have to live with me for the rest of his life. So that is going to be, and that's that's kind of why I came in. I'm looking for, with my new current financial situation. I mean, my wife got a big old chunk of change in the divorce, which she can spend it on whatever she wants. It doesn't matter at this point. But where am I? What do I need to do? Can I stay in my house? I mean, can I keep my standard of living, with what I want to do, and is that realistic?
Sure.
I think is kind of what I'm looking for.
So, as far as your goals, you're trying to figure out how to cover your oldest and your middle child's school, Alex Jr. and Alexis.
Yes.
Right, and then you mentioned a couple times you want to make sure that little Alec is taken care of.
Right. Yeah.
So, do you mean after your time, or while you're taking care of him?
I guess I hadn't really thought of it. I mean, now that you mention it, even what if I die? What if I die tomorrow? Who's going to take care of him? What's going to happen?
Right.
When you're married, you really don't. You feel like there's always somebody there.
Sure.
So now it's, if I die, my wife is. I still love the woman, but she's a junkie. She's not going to take care of him. Whatever money she gets is probably going to go to buying drugs or doing whatever she does. So yeah, what happens? What happens when I'm gone?
And is your divorce finalized?
It is, yes.
Okay. As far as the education for your two kids, Alex and Alexis, did you have any kind of 529 plan set up? I don't know if you're familiar with the 529 plan.
Not.
No.
I think I've heard of it before, but I'm not very familiar with it.
Okay. It's an educational benefit. To be honest, it might be a little late to start one now since they're already in college, basically. But it's just a build your own fund type of thing.
Okay.
You start off when your kids are young or just recently born. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring it up but I just wanted to see if you had one.
No, we didn't use that.
Okay.
No, it's we had a little bit of savings, so I mean, this especially before the divorce, we kind of just paid. It was almost month to month, especially with Alex Jr. It's I could cover the rent and all that without too much of an issue.
Okay. Moving on to the professional side, what do you do for a living?
I am the CEO of my own company. It's AE Reynolds LLC.
AE Reynolds. I've heard of that.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
You do the. What do you do? I'm sorry.
It's a restaurant, and there's a little bit. So it actually covers a couple things. We have 5 McDonald's in town and 2 of the
That's
Buffalo
what
Wild
it
Wings.
is.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Buffalo Wild Wings. We do those, and I have a few real estate properties
Okay.
that I manage as well.
Yeah, I have a couple of other clients that own property around the area.
Okay.
So I think that's how
Okay,
your name
okay.
will come up. Yeah.
Well, at least I'm out there. I mean, that's something.
Oh yeah, like I said, I've definitely heard of you. So you're doing something right.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I commend you once more for toughing through. That's a really tough business too. There's a lot of competition out there.
Yeah, I started with just one. I started with one
Wow.
McDonald's, opened it up, and just kept going.
Okay.
So it was. It's tough. It's not fun. Not a pleasant business.
I'm impressed that you're dealing with such strong issues. I mean, in home life, internally, that's tough. That's really tough. Like I said, I'm really sorry, but you seem to be holding up pretty well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, I'm sorry, you were saying you're CEO.
Do you want financial information?
Sure,
or-
sure.
Okay. So I pay myself a base salary of about $250,000 a year.
Okay.
And then my bonuses average, I think the average is about 150,000. So it depends, honestly, it depends on the year. I think the lowest I've ever gotten, the lowest bonus I've paid out to me is about 75, maybe 75, 80,000. I think the best year we had was like 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, it was a little over $200,000.
Okay.
So that was a great year. But I mean, there are fluctuations.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially in this market, there's
So
really
it
extreme
definitely
that.
depends. And there was, one of the years we just opening. I mean, obviously the bonuses aren't usually quite as good.
So how long have you had your company?
The LLC I've been in business for 20 years.
Okay.
So it's been decades of me, trying to build this up and create something kind of valuable. I had a 401k. I still have a 401k, but she got half
Good.
of that in the divorce.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So she also got. I have the kids. I don't know if I mentioned that or not.
I assumed, I figured as much.
Yeah.
With her situation.
But she did get. She's getting alimony. So it's. I think it's maxed out. She gets $5,000 a month in alimony payments. For I think 5 years. I was a little irritated at the hearings.
Sure.
I think it's 5 years.
She must have hid that drug problem really well for having gotten all of that, her half, and
Well, I think some of it was that, she gave up a career in modeling, and she did, she helped me. I mean, she helped me with the business. I mean, she helped with some of the investments. So, I mean, it was, the first few years of it, I mean, it wasn't all bad, and I think the judge definitely had some sympathy for what she had done, and especially with what she sacrificed. So I don't begrudge her that, but I mean, it really does change, my finances.
understand.
For sure.
Sure. You mentioned investments just now. Do you have?
I have. So she has half of the 401k.
Mhm.
There's nothing I can do about that. So that was a concern. I think I brought the numbers. I have. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember how much is in that 401k. She got half, or she got over 70% of everything in checking and saving. So I've got just right now about 80,000 in checking, 400 in savings, and then I have a mutual fund. She got a couple. We had a few mutual funds that we'd invested in. She got, I think, 2 of the 3, and then I got the Fidelity, which has about $500,000 in it right now.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Well, you know what? Sounds like she got away with murder there, unfortunately. But you're not on a bad start. You're not off to a bad start. You have a good foundation nonetheless, and I'm sure you can build off of. And like I said, building what you need for retirement, 2 for your kids' education, which is a more immediate goal, and also for Alex care.
And that's my problem, and I guess that's my concern. With both of us there and bringing the money in, I really wasn't worried, but it's like I've lost a lot of money.
Sure.
And Alex Jr. is costing me. He costs tens of thousands of dollars a year. I mean, I love my kids, but they are expensive. I mean, he I think the worst last year or his freshman year was probably $35,000 or $40,000 out of pocket.
Wow.
And he's got a scholarship. I'm paying for him to live. I'm paying for everything.
Yeah.
And then I'm worried, with her, especially with her. If she gets into Harvard, I can't afford. I make $250,000. I can't afford $250,000 a year for all this stuff.
Right.
So I guess some of my issues are, how am I going to afford this? How do I put these kids through school? Can I keep my house? Can I keep my cars? Can I maintain the lifestyle that I have? So those are kind of my big concerns right now.
Well, speaking about your house and car, let's talk a little bit about more assets that you have. Do you own the house? Is it paid off?
It's not paid off. I think we bought the house. We bought the house about 10 years ago for $1.2 million. I can't remember. I think we put $500,000 down on the house, and then we owe $775 after making the payments. So I think right now it's about. I think we pay. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep saying we. $6,000 a month
I understand.
for mortgage payments
Okay.
right now.
But
And I'm sorry, it's worth about 1.5.
1.5.
It's worth
Okay.
about 1.5. Oh, and I say this jokingly, my fourth child is my Lamborghini. I have a Lamborghini Gallardo.
Oh my God, are you
Yeah,
serious?
Yeah, I got in a little bit of trouble for buying that one.
With the X.
Oh yeah, she was not happy. I had to spend a lot of money on her to smooth that one over.
That is one of my all-time favorite cars.
I love that car. What you don't realize is that the upkeep cost me about $20,000 a year to keep that thing.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I've got to take it to. They don't have dealer. I mean, they don't have a dealer here, so I've got to take it to Dallas to get it maintained, and the thing breaks down all the time.
Well, I'm sure it's well worth it.
Well, I mean, of course.
That is a beauty.
It is a lot of fun.
Okay.
Speeding tickets they get up there too. They're a little bit pricey.
So, let me ask you then, and I'm just throwing a general idea out here. It seems like there's a little bit of play in your life. I know you want to keep the standard of living, but if, for example, and just because this came up, this is pretty obvious. If you can get into a similar standard of living, say a car that doesn't cost you as much, that would free up a lot of funds there.
Well, I also have a 4Runner. It's basic for
Okay.
like with travel and things like that.
Oh, okay.
I use that. So
your Lambo is your toy just for the weekend.
that's just for the weekends. That's just for me. Yeah.
I gotta tell you, that is one expensive hobby to have.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. But I love every minute of it. I love that car.
So, would you consider an option to maybe put those funds instead of into the Lamborghini, into maybe one of your children's education payments or funds or?
I mean, I would consider it. I would want to exhaust almost every single. That is, I know it's silly. I love that car. I love that car. For my kids, I would do it if there's any other way. I would rather sell the house.
Yeah.
I'd rather downsize the house than sell that car.
Yeah, let me just clarify. We will do everything. I'm not saying this is what I would
No,
do.
I'm open. I don't want to.
We'll do everything that we need to do. Just like you said, we will check out all other available options. Hopefully, it doesn't come to that, right?
I really hope not.
There's a lot of things out there that a lot of good benefits or investments that we can look into that can keep you afloat. So
Okay.
We'll definitely look into that.
Okay, great.
If it's important to you, it's important to me. So we'll
Okay, it's important to me.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take care of that.
Okay.
Anything else that I might have missed that you wanted to talk to me about?
That's it. I just wanted to. I'm here just to make sure. I want to cover these costs. I just want an idea of where I am financially,
Sure.
and do I need to make changes? Is kind of what I'm looking for.
About your cars, real quick. Do you owe anything on the Lamborghini and the truck?
Those are paid off.
Paid off.
Those are paid off.
Okay. Just to make sure we have a general idea of the assets that we're working with. Assets and debts. Any others? A boat, maybe another house.
No,
Some
she got some other little stuff.
But that's all, yeah.
That for me. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, as far as that's concerned, that's a clean slate. We don't need to worry about all that.
Okay.
I'm not worried about her. And 5 years from now, if you stick with me, we will make this completely right. And another 5 years after that, she will be jealous and very, very upset that she left you.
All right.
So I think we have some leeway here to work with. Like I said, we don't have to commit anything to paper right now,
Okay.
but I'll take a look at what you have here. I know you brought some more paperwork. If you don't mind, if I can make some copies for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
So I'll take a closer look into that. Then maybe we can set up another meeting and
Great.
go from
Yeah.
there. In the meantime, I'm not even going to wait till that other session. I'll get you the card for the counseling.
Thank you. Yeah, I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it'll. I mean, you got to start with number one, before you can help anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll do that. Do you have any questions for me at all?
So you got the paperwork? Is that all I needed? Just to bring that in? And
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll make some copies and you can have the originals. We don't need to hold on to that.
Okay, great.
And I'll book at my secretary to do that. And if you don't have any questions.
No, yeah, it was really nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Very much. Yeah. Best of luck to you. I'll see you
Thank you.
soon.
Thank you so much.
All right.